right now. Uh, Facebook goes a little bit, you know, they
Little
don't have intermission, but it goes a little bit after so there's a little bit of delay, but we don't have to um, uh, access Facebook at the same time. So it's
right.
going to be fine for everybody that's watching us.
Cool.
Okay. Well, it's we're live, and it's my great pleasure to start this live number 130. You know, with my glass of wine and celebrating to have here this great musician, friend, bass fellow, professor, lovely person, Mark Dresser. Welcome
Thank you, Sonia. Great pleasure to be
to
here.
our health.
Yeah, yes. I wish I don't have, it's 11 in the morning. I don't have wine yet.
Oh yeah, it's not. It's too early for a glass of wine, right?
Yeah.
No, I already had lunch and everything, so I'm fine. So it's a great honor to have you here, Mark, and I know
Likewise.
it's kind of early in the day for you to be, talking to the world, but it's a rare opportunity. And I'd like to say that originally today it was scheduled for Sandrino Santoro, which is one of the fathers of the bass teaching in Brazil.
Okay.
But he has some health problems in a family, very serious, and he last week told me he couldn't be here. And I was gonna schedule. I was thinking I was gonna meet with you for the next month or so, and then I'm very, very happy you were able to, adjust and take this date. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wish the maestro good health.
Yeah, me too. It's actually his wife that is in that, situation right now. But we all hope that he'll get better. Sometime we chat with him. And people are getting in. If you see in your right, the left, your upper right side of the screen, you have live comments, so you see people getting in. Luciane Cardas is there, and Fabio Oliveira, percussionist. So hello, guys.
Hello.
So, Mark, tell us how is first thing, how are you and your family in this quarantine moment? How is California, San Diego?
Well, fortunately, everyone is healthy and more or less sane. I speak that about myself, and we're doing, it's you go outside, you don't see evidence of the virus like I would see in New York. People are not masking very well, and I know that's going to. And we're having a recurrence that's growing. I think I heard today was the highest amount of people in the hospitals in a month. So, anyhow, the virus has its very particular rhythm, and we're doing the best we can.
You guys are staying home, basically, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and I'm able to go to the university, to my office where I can. I teach at UC San Diego, and I'm doing a recording project, so I'm able to have quiet. Unlike at my home, I hear trucks and cars.
And you're not probably on a recess or vacation or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're on summer break.
Okay. And you guys decided you're going to come back on remote classes, or?
Well, well, definitely there'll probably be some hybrid solution. I think there's it all depends on what the health officials say ultimately, but there's a big will, at least for the performance folks, to be able to play in person if at all possible, which will mean finding ways of performing with greater distance, and there'll be a lot of creativity performing outside. I think a lot of people are looking into this with a lot of energy, and so I guess that it'll be some kind of cross between online teaching and in person, but socially distanced in person.
Yeah, And I don't quite remember when was the first time we met, but I've always remembered you dealing with improvisation and all this electronics and this new sound. And I I think for you different than for other most of professors, it's quite familiar, this online teaching and talking and all this conversations and playing far away.
Yes, I came to UC San Diego 15 years ago, and around 2006, I heard about the possibility of doing what we call telematic performance, where we are able to perform with low latency uh, um, and high audio quality with musicians in different geographical locations. So as I had shortly moved from New York, I was separated from my natural community of collaborators. And I happened to be, Paulino Oliveros, the great late composer and electronic music pioneer, who had been a professor of mine, in the early 70s. I'd ran into her at the Guelph Jazz Festival, and over dinner, she broke down what the fundamentals were, and she had a class at Art Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute, and she had a class together with Chris Chafe at Stanford, who developed the software that we still use for uncompressed audio. It's something called Jack Trip. It's a open source protocol, and there's been a lot. And so since 2007, we're still using the same protocol, and they keep doing updates, especially now because of COVID. Now everyone understands why you would want to connect with people, at distance, because we can't play live. So there's been a lot of energy and research on how to do this from home. And my friends, Chris and Miller Puckett, and my dear friend Michael Desson and Sarah Weaver, composer, and who's leads this NowNet organization, have been putting lots of efforts bringing communities together to perform live. So there's just been a lot of energy to do this now, because as everyone sees, oh, we actually have a need to do this.
Yeah, and you were telling me. Oh, I'm sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Go ahead.
Because we were talking offline that this, you think this protocol that you use, it's more effective than even Lola that we were talking here.
Well, it's an Lola is one alternative. I don't, not to take away from Lola. This one's open source. You can do it on. You don't need to do it on PC only. Or anyhow, Lola's has a very specific hardware requirement. The last I understood, has lots of different ways of doing it. You can even do it on a Raspberry, one of those really small computers. And anyhow, it's getting more and more. More and more people are using it. And my friend Michael Desson put out a doc that he published on Facebook. It's actually on my Facebook page, talking about the fundamentals of network connection, network performance. And he keeps updating it as as new developments are happening, and they're happening weekly. So it's an exciting time to work with this. And as it looks like we're going to be performing like this for a minute, it's giving opportunities that didn't exist before.
Great. I'm gonna make sure I share with people afterwards here on Facebook all this information.
I'll share those links with you, and then you can share with your audience.
Great. I'm just gonna say hello for everyone that is getting in. Richard Meyer, hello, and Rita and Marcia.
Luciana.
Yeah, Luciana.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So all very great friends, Mark.
Yeah.
Luciana and I go back to undergraduate times,
Great,
and Fabio is my colleague now, so it's a big family.
Yeah. Yeah, great.
And Bruno is here also, my colleague, professor of double bass,
Oh, yeah.
at school,
Great.
so at the university here. So, and one of my students, when they saw the post, first thing he asked us, "What about this bridge that he has? What's the deal?" So we're talking about it, and I'd love if you can show us.
Sure. So I've been working with the bass maker, but he's a wonderful bass. He's a fabulous musician, a guy named Kent McLagan. And in 2002, I asked him to build some pickups built into my fingerboard. And I don't know how I can't. And so he's just an amazing guy. And so finally in 2015, I asked him to make me a bass. And I had an idea to have like a secondary set of, like on a secondary bridge. Well, actually, I said what I want is something that's between thumb piano and stroke rods, that you could pluck it as well as bow it. Because I remember in my student days, Robert Erickson had, the great composer, had made this instrument called the stroke rods. That the rods were made of aluminum. I'll show you this is one set of the rods.
Wow.
So, and we've done since 2015, I believe we've done 8 different ones, experimenting with different metals, different tunings, the way it attaches to the bass.
It's like a prepared bass.
Exactly. So it's not like the bass didn't have enough colors already, but I just thought, oh, wouldn't this be interesting? And so I had the idea. And Kent is always game to try out something. And so he started making different versions. As I said, we're up to 8 now. And so I'll show you.
Great.
Okay, so I'll tilt this. So this one is a set of 8, and I'll lower this. So what's interesting about this is that since these are times, they're not strings, so the overtone structure is really different. So instead of it being the fundamental, the octave, and then the octave and a fifth, or the third partial, it's very, very different. So you have so for example, can you hear that?
Yeah.
Here's the next harmonic. So that's like an octave and a just minor 6. There's an 11th above that. And there's even a 4th partial. So, and then if you put pressure on it, it goes below audibility. So, they're just become. So anyhow, so this has been another sandbox of fun to dig out, to start composing with, improvising, of course. And of course, I combine it with the bass, and I've been doing different recording projects with it for a while now.
And just one more question about this sort of double bridge. Does it press the top too much? How is it? It has a base.
Well, it touches the bridge. So, and does it mute the bridge? It actually does. So I don't use it all the time, because it's just, it has sonic properties of its own. So if I'm playing normally, what will happen is that there'll be some resonant frequencies that will vibrate, that will make normal pizzicato playing less clear. So that's not ideal. So, but I can take it on and off, or in a recording situation, or I use different basses if that's.
It's so rich. The range you can have is so rich. It's incredible. So I'm saying that Hi, Fumiko. Fumiko is watching us.
All right.
Alexandre Rosa from Nosesp and Noreen Dresser. I think.
Yes, my mom.
Oh, hey, Mom. Welcome.
Yeah.
So Mark, I want you to, if you can, talk a little bit about this new project, the Deep Tones for Peace 2020.
Yeah. Yes. Well, this is kind of in 2009, we formed a project along with Sarah Weaver, John Claude Jones, and Israel, and Bar Phillips, and William Parker, called Deep Tones for Peace. And it was a project that was for peace in the Middle East, and we had 13 bass players between Jerusalem and New York who played together in a 6-hour marathon concert. So, which was very, very interesting and rich. But one of the things that we started, and this was particularly with William, we started Deep Tones for Peace Now, which was where bass players, wherever they were, could broadcast peace transmissions. And we had a bunch of folks do that, and we used a platform called Ustream.tv, and of course that doesn't even exist anymore. So I mean, with all the strife in the world between not only the virus but all the social injustice that has everyone so inflamed, that we just thought that it was time to do a participatory project of transmissions, and we called it Live Meditations for Peace, Healing, and Transformation. And it's and anyhow, so I mean, the call says musicians transmitting deep tones to counterbalance the many systemic injustices woven into the fabric of our society. Deep tones can strengthen the unseen bonds of our diversity in opposition to, as we oppose economic, educational, and environmental inequities fueled by racism, sexism, and greed. So we've started out contacting our community of bass players and asking everyone to make a 5 to 30 minute transmission with the intent of sending out positive vibes out there. So this is I don't know what it is what it is. I don't think of it necessarily as a concert or a performance, but as a transmission. And it's open to all bassists and any style of music, any level. It's just a space. Mm-hmm. And so far, we've been reaching out to our community of folks, and we've had, I think in the first week, John Clayton, William Parker is opening it up, Andres Martin, John Clayton.
Rufus Reed is there.
Reed, yeah, he was the first person to send in a file. Very, very good. I don't have, yeah. So
he's incredible.
He's incredible person and human. And so I'm just, thrilled at the response. And we have a wonderful team of volunteers that are helping mount this, because it's becoming, a lot of administration.
Yeah, I was very honored with your invitation, I must say.
Sure.
It's going to be great. And I saw the schedule, like you go for 2 months, right?
Well, that's we're starting. We're starting with 2 months, and then if we'll. I'm hoping to get through the election into the new year, and anyhow, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, well, I started this thing thinking I'm gonna be here during the quarantine. I had no idea how long that would be.
Yeah, and exactly.
Today is 1:30, so.
Yeah. There you go.
So we never know.
Yeah.
And it's a great idea. And tell me, but people, if I understood, people are gonna access this through whatever channel the person is first meeting.
Yeah. So it's like we're sending out invitations. The space it's a Facebook users page called Deep Tones for Peace. Let's see if I can copy it here.
I think I can probably.
Yeah, hold on. Let me go back to you.
Well, Kurt Moroki.
Hey, Kurt.
Getting here. Yeah, I agree. Mark is the best.
Oh man. Well, you are. Anyhow, so I don't know where to post this. I don't see the place where I can add a comment, but you have the link there. Oh, wait a minute. No, I still don't see it where I can post, but
you can put it in private chat.
Okay. There we go.
Oh, Fumiko is saying that it's a public group page.
It's open to the public. Definitely.
Okay, I'll post it immediately. I'll post it on Facebook for us.
There we go. So it's
Here you go, guys.
It'll be really interesting. I look forward to it. I mean, you realize, I don't know. It feels like at a certain point, it just felt like it's time to do something. And I just wrote William, and what do you think? And he said, yeah, man, the time is now. So now is the time. Actually, that's what he said. So we, with a partner like him, who's just such a community person and such a important figure in community building and also such an important person in the free jazz movement, having him really gave me a lot of confidence that we could pull this off. And anyhow, it's been great, and it's wonderful just broadening the community. And in this place of this period of social isolation, having a project like that to connect with our friends and colleagues feels good.
And also, this is a great help us to connect with ourselves, right? It's a moment that you can experience that it's being so. I think we have to connect to ourselves during these days, because it's been a hard time for most of us.
And exactly. I mean, there are also artistic questions. What does it mean to make a peace transmission? What does that mean? I'm thinking about this every day, and just, getting into the zone. It was wonderful. Rufus sent us something that was, it was really beautiful. Just, I can't do justice by describing it, but he was in the zone and he was sending it out and sharing with us, and you could feel it. So,
yeah. It's and his generosity is just everywhere. Like everywhere you go, you have his his touch on the bass world, and also in the music world, mostly and especially the bass world.
Right.
We're very, very happy. I mean, we're lucky to have him.
Yes, most definitely. And so
talking about the old giants, so you went there, and before you succeed the Bert Turetsky, right?
Yeah, Bert said he was going to do it too. So
wow, cool.
Yeah. So, and so the group is growing, and I heard from Daniele Roccato today. So that just it's striking a chord.
I haven't seen Bert in a while.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's doing well.
He's doing okay. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And I have another question. How do you deal with all this exploration of the new sounds and technique of contemporary music in your daily teaching plan? Like you have students specifically for contemporary music, or you include the contemporary exploitation into the traditional playing?
My studio is made up of bass players, so we're dealing with specifics of repertoire that people want to play. Mm-hmm. So so the music kind of dictates the direction of where people go, and then I have to have improvisers, and we dig into that and what it means to develop vocabulary, and wherever folks are at, we have people who bridge the jazz tradition and contemporary music, and so we just try to let musicianship and creativity rule.
Yeah, well, Fumiko is saying, take your time. Oh, that's for Kurt, because Kurt said his back is hurt.
Yeah, Kurt, heal up, and if you feel up to it, we'd be honored to have you participate, of course. So,
And yeah, this is an issue, though. Sorry, going back to the education. So this is an issue for most of professors that you specialized in one thing or another thing, and mixing things is still kind of a a myth that you cannot, but you obviously can, right? Mix.
Yeah, I mean, more and more you find, people, the musicians the graduate students I have, who not only play, they play multiple styles, they conduct, they compose, they do electronic music, they do video. We need kind of a broad toolkit to respond to this moment of media. I mean, it's amazing what one can do at home, with the tools we have access to in our digital world that that would have been impossible decades ago. You would need studios and equipment, very, very expensive equipment. I mean, it's still the domain of those privileged enough to be able to afford these tools. There's no doubt about that, but it's never been more available, and there's still things that are free that you can do compelling music, and that's very, very liberating. With the Jack Tripp stuff, we've been sort of focusing on high fidelity, but there are things that are rich that aren't high fidelity that can be really meaningful. So the main thing is like content is king, or content rules. So like whatever way you can get out a strong idea or concept, put it out there, and learn as we go along.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. Are you gonna be at ISB in Nebraska? Like, you think you're gonna do something about this in there?
I haven't really considered it. I didn't go to the last one. Perhaps I will. I would hope that I'd be able to do that, but I haven't put in a proposal yet, and I've fallen off the ISB radar in the last few months. But they're still it's a fabulous organization, and the way they reach out to and embrace styles and people is just it's commendable, and it's a wonderful instrumental family.
Yeah, because it would be great to have a session with you about this, this experience. If you, in case you decide to, it would be great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very, very happy to have you here, Mark, and
Thank you so much, Sonia.
You're so generous and even demonstrated some things for us. Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
And we're getting to the end of this 30 minutes, and I know I don't want to take advantage of your morning.
It's my pleasure, and it'll be, if I'm sure there are folks there who want to participate. If anyone wants to participate in Deep Tones for Peace, we welcome you, and thanks for all of you who are watching. I appreciate and seeing friends, and even folks I don't know who've been following you. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you. And we're gonna, this is gonna be saved on my Facebook.
Okay,
and later I'm gonna put up on YouTube so people can see it later.
Yeah.
Usually people come and watch afterwards.
Yeah.
When they cannot get on time.
And as I said, as soon as we get off, I will share that Jack Tripp link. Michael Chesson also created these wonderful videos how to do telematic performance from home. So there's a lot of good information now, and we can do more stuff than we thought we could. So
great. So I will share with everyone since once I receive it.
Yeah.
And I also would like to thank everybody that's in there. So
Yeah.
good to see you, Fumiko. It's a long time.
Yeah.
And Luciana and everybody. And I see you guys tomorrow and at same time here.
Yeah.
And Mark, have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Same to you, and thanks everyone who's there. And
we'll be in touch soon for the deep tones.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye,
Thank
people.
you.